Network, and we're here for a very special episode. It's 676. And why it's a very special episode? Because I have one of my favorite Hall of Famers on the show, Ms. Candice Michelle. It's a real honor and privilege to have you on the KeithAndrewNetwork, and I'm looking forward to the interview and building a friendship with you as well.
I love that. Thank you so much for having me.
The honor's all mine. For people who want to know what my talk show is about, whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. These are prove to them, you can stem out something. So that being said, half hour of your time, it's PG-13. It's not going to be a wrestling shoot. I just want to say that first off. And so the first question I want to ask you is, how was life growing up?
For me, I had really a nice childhood. I wouldn't say it was a perfect childhood. For those of you that don't know me, my dad died when I was 2. My mom ended up remarrying, so I felt like I had a dad. You know, I didn't feel like I didn't have that. My mom, you know, struggled like a lot of people back in those times, and she worked 2, 3 jobs, sometimes 4 jobs, and my grandmother raised me a lot. But I was loved, you know. It was never, I never worried about food on the table or a roof over my head, you know. And I think when you don't have to worry about those things, you get to be a kid, and when you feel love, you can, you know, you don't need much. So I didn't grow up with much, but I had everything I think that you need to feel loved. I think that's the most important thing.
No, absolutely. All that matters is having people that love and support you and having a roof over your head. And now I actually looked you up, and I saw that you won a modeling competition when you were at the age of 16.
Yeah, I used to work at a roller skating rink. I loved roller skating. It was kind of like our favorite pastime back then. And John Robert Powers was coming in to do a contest, and whoever won the contest would win a scholarship to the school. And I was so interested in doing this, but to go to the school, it was a couple $1,000s or something, and money that we just didn't have. So this was an opportunity for me to audition for this. And then you would get a full scholarship to the modeling and acting school, which also led me to New York for a big event where you get to audition for agents from New York, Milan, Paris, and Los Angeles. And so I ended up going with an agency out in Los Angeles, and that's what took me from Wisconsin to Los Angeles.
Oh, nice. Now, the first question I was going to ask you, who influenced you to become a model?
I don't think there was really anybody that influenced me at that time. It was just kind of what I wanted to do. And now, at the age that I am now and all the journeys I've taken in life, one of the gifts that I have is to always follow my passion. And sometimes I get upset when people say, oh, I'm so passionate about this, and then they're never working at it. So for me, what passion really is your energy. You know, where do you want to go? What does your energy take you to want to do? You know, and I was always gifted in following that. Like I worked at a job where I sat in a cubicle for one day, and some people love that, right? They don't want to be so connected to people. They're better on computers, you know, things like that is what their energy is about. For me, it was like, whoa, get me out of here. Like I felt like I was in prison, you know? And so I've just learned at a really young age to follow my energy, which people will call passion. And so it was something that I wanted to do, and it's just taken me on a life journey.
No, I agree with you 100%. And, you know, for me, you know, I like to get you fired up. But so is there anything you definitely feel passionate about talking about? You're more than welcome to. For me, this is what I want to do to the day I die. I've been doing this for officially 7.5 years, and I found something that I want to do for the rest of my life. You know, I was told I was on the spectrum of being retarded because I read and learn at a 5th grade level, because I learn at a slower pace. So if
Mm-hmm.
someone would give you like a script, I know you worked for WWE, but we can save that for the second half. When they give you a script, you're like, okay, here's the script. For me, you have to sit down with me and break it down and, okay, explain this, explain that. Can you give me an example? Because I learned that way. People say, oh, you're retarded because normal people learn it like 1, 2, 3. It takes like 5, 6 times.
Mm-hmm.
So, my brother before me, um, we sit with the family at the table, and he said, I don't know what to do with my life. I don't know, I have a BA. And my dad says, go talk to your brother. He knows people. Go talk to your sister. They can put you in the right direction. And it's like, what about me? It says, what? It says, what about you? I read and learn at a 5th grade level. I have diarrhea of the mouth. I don't shut up. I'm not qualified at doing anything. And I said, you know what? With all these labels, I'm going to show you, look at what I can amount to.
Mm-hmm.
And for 7.5 years, thanks to you, we're back to 676 episodes. I have interviewed actors, actresses, models, CEOs, people with disabilities, people without disabilities. I'm showing you, hey, I may be on the spectrum, but I'm showing you, look at what I'm able to accomplish.
Well, I mean, I love that. And a lot of things that you said, I view things a lot differently. For me, it kind of bothers me when, usually this is from doctors, but they label so many people, and from a very young age, they label you with a disability, thinking that you're not enough, you're not good enough, you can't do X, Y, and Z. And I've always looked at life like your disabilities take you to your life journey. They take you to finding your abilities. It's like if somebody's blind, they can hear better than the average person because they've had to really work that other muscle because they can't see. And I look at it like that. I don't like it when people say, oh, you're on the spectrum, because people learn differently. Just example, like reading, like I can read fine. I just don't enjoy it. I don't comprehend it. But I love listening to audiobooks. So I read, at least every day or every week, I get a full book of knowledge inside of me. But that's how I learn. And so it's finding those people, or finding what you found in yourself, which is great because a lot of people can't find that. Just really recognizing that these people can't put labels on you. They don't know how to define it. So all of a sudden they define it with something that sounds negative. And then we put that into our own mind and think, oh, we're not good enough, or we can't do that. But when you look at people that have lost their legs and then they're like in the Olympics, you're like, no, they can do that. They do it differently, but they can do anything they choose to do. And that brings me to that quote. You can do, whether you think you can do it or you think you can't, you're right. And that's really powerful. It's simple, but it's powerful. If you think you can't, you can't. You're right. But if you think you can do it, you can do it. And so I love what you're doing. It's actually why I decided to come on here when you reached out to me, because I believe in people finding their gifts and being different. And different isn't bad. Like, who wants to be like everybody else? That's boring. Like, Lord have mercy. Like, so many people want to put us in this box and have us be just like everybody else. Like, our flaws make us perfect. Our failures make us better. Like, this is what makes us great. And so that's why I chose to be on this show, because I saw that in you from your post, your Instagram, and how you reached out to me. I was like, wow, this is really cool. This is somebody who's been told he can't do this, but he's doing it. And that I respect.
No, absolutely. And the one thing I loved about you is when I approached you at, I think it was WrestleCon, you were so sweet, and you're sweet for being on the show. And I'm very thankful for that. I'm not kissing your butt or anything. That you're sweet and warm, and you took the time to let me introduce myself and explain myself. And what the show's about. Other people are like, okay, autograph.